Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I am your host, God of Heroics, and today we are reviewing episode 4 of Dragon Ball Daima. See, uh, it got very interesting, and some things I was right about. There were also some more interesting things that were going on. So, without further ado, we're just gonna jump right into this. So, if you like this kind of content, please like this video, subscribe to the page, and hit the notification bell so you can be updated with all future uploads. Again, I am trying to reach 500 by the end of the year, which I know is 100% doable because I see people all the time with like 90K, hit 100K in just a couple of months. So please help me out. And in the long run, it will help you guys out because I get to keep making content like this and like my other videos, and very likely at a higher scale. Anyway, so this episode begins where the last episode left off, where Glorio had his plane stolen. So now the gang is walking. Goku, Shin, and Glorio, they're walking, trying to find a new location, try to get to a new town, maybe find a new plane. They get to this shop. Real quick before they get to the shop, Goku asks why they don't just, fly to their next destination because he can fly, Shin can fly. They don't know for certain if Glorio can fly, but we do find out, yes, Glorio can fly. And this reminded me of something real quick. So they get into a couple little interesting scuffles where Goku runs into a monster and Glorio takes care of it. Glorio defeats the monster and he basically two shots it. And this was an interesting thing for me because Goku noticed the monster before it showed up, and Shin noticed it a little bit after Goku, but then Glorio didn't notice it until after it came up. So he asked Goku, how did you how did you know about the monster? And they told him, oh, they just sensed this key. And Glorio didn't know what key was. And this was weird to me because for a while, I guess I just forgot because I mean, I've known before, but I guess I just forgot. But I was like, how does he not know what key is if he could fly? But key and flying are not interchangeable. They have nothing to do with each other. Flying is a telekinetic move. Yes, telekinesis does exist in the world of Dragon Ball, and it's actually how Goku learned to fly. He practiced his mental power when he had all his bones shattered in that Great Ape fight against when he fought Great Ape Vegeta. So he was laying in the hospital, unable to move, and he was training his mind. And one of the things he learned was telekinesis, and that's how he learned to fly. It's also a thing that Master Shen, Master Roshi's school, martial arts rifle, knew. It's something that his school, the Crane School, knew, and that's how Tien and Chaozu learned how to fly. But Goku learned it just basically by training his mind. And I think Krillin learned it when he was traveling the world, training all this stuff. Anyway, that's all stuff from Dragon Ball and early Dragon Ball Z. But anyway, flying is not an application of ki. Flying is telekinesis, which Goku, knows, and Shin and Glorio obviously know, but it's not an application of ki. And I'm glad that that was sort of a reminder. Anyway, I feel like Glorio's going to learn about ki at some point in the story, but maybe not. Who knows? Because he seemed a little interested in it, but they didn't really go over it. They didn't talk to him about how it works. There was no sort of training. To be honest, they're kind of on the move, so there's no time to really do that. Anyway, so Goku asks him about the Dragon Balls at some point, and he explains to him, that there's three Dragon Balls, which is the thing I was correct about. What I was correct about, there are three demon worlds, and each demon world has one Dragon Ball. Everybody knows the location of said Dragon Balls in each world, but you need to defeat the Tamagamis, who are the warriors protecting the Dragon Balls, who are apparently super strong, to obtain the Dragon Balls. And apparently nobody has collected all three Dragon Balls literally ever. So yeah, that's a bit of a thing. So now Goku obviously wants to fight the Tamagamis and collect the Dragon Balls because they are super strong enemies, but also they have devised this plan to collect the Dragon Balls and then use the Dragon Balls to wish for the rescue of Dende. Instead of just finding their way all the way to him and fighting through tons of guards and whatever other things come their way. And it seems like a pretty solid plan. They can use the Dragon Balls to rescue Dende, then go back to Earth and use the Earth Dragon Balls to to bring everybody back to their adult forms. So that is a plan. I'm not sure if that's the plan they're 100% going with, or if that's like a secondary plan, because they seem to still be on their way to the castle. Maybe they'll explain the plan to the king of the third Demon World's castle. Who knows? Anyway, they go to the next town, and they get into a shop, and a very heavy-chested woman shows up to give them, like their little refreshments to get this drink that is super healthy. To me, it looked like some kind of like kale smoothie, but she says that it's basically herbal tea with honey in it. And that sounds delicious, but then Goku tries it and it's actually freaking disgusting. She says it's an acquired taste, which I can understand because I've had like old fashioned ginger ale and boy, is that an acquired taste for sure. So I can understand, a drink, even whether it's good or not, having a strong like bitterness to it, and then you kind of have to adjust to it. So moving further, they ask if there was a plane, and Glorio is haggling, trying to see if there's a plane. The woman's husband comes out and tells them that he has this thing called a sky seed that they can use to go about 120 kilometers in the direction that they're going in. I find that a little strange because why is there money called Dokuro and gold coins, which is probably more, I assume is more valuable than Dokuro. We'll get to that in a bit. But then they still use like, the metric system. That's strange. I feel like they should have had their own little system, like, oh, tax or something. I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's a little strange. Anyway, Goku looks around at the shop to see what kind of other stuff they sell, and they have a bunch of tiny little bugs. They're called Medibugs, and they do a bunch of different things. So, very okay. So you know how in this game, Sparking Zero, we have a bunch of different capsule items, and each capsule item does something different. Like you increase your attack, your defense, increase your stamina, your key recovery, all that stuff. So the Medibugs, each individual one has abilities like that. There's one that basically replenishes your health, like a Senzu Bean. There's one that makes you last longer. It revives your stamina. So, and then there's one that I think is very interesting that I know for a fact is going to come in play later. That is a bug that does fusion. Basically, it's two bugs together, and you have to eat one half, and then your partner eats the other half, and then it brings you guys together and you fuse. I'm not sure what the strength boost is for this, like, how the fusion dance and the Patara fusion, they have different multipliers. I'm not sure what the multiplier for this is. It wasn't really explained. They didn't go into it too in depth. Um, might be very similar to a Patara, might be similar to the fusion dance. Who knows? It could be its own thing. They also don't tell us one thing that we are missing. We don't know how long the fusion will last either. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. Since Vegeta is coming much later, I can only assume that Goku and Vegeta are gonna end up fusing at some point, probably during their final battle. I don't know what the name is going to be. I don't really know how this is going to work. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I think it's a really cool thing to talk about in general, and we're going to get into that just a little bit as well. So, moving forward, they use the Sky Sea, which is basically a cannon that launches them in a certain direction, and they make it a little closer to where they're going. They get to a town and they see that there are some soldiers there. They're basically like some kind of elite guard system for representing King Goma, and they're collecting hardcore taxes from the people in the town. So think of it like if you've seen One Piece, the Arlong arc, when Arlong's goons would show up to Nami's hometown and collect like heavy taxes from the people and stuff like that. So um, they're basically it's very interesting. So they don't take these people to jail if they don't pay up. Basically, they want them to pay in three gold coins, which is back to the gold coins thing. They want them to pay in gold coins, and they say it's three per person, which they claim is impossible. So I assume that this is gold coins are harder to get than Dokuro, and they say that if you don't pay up, then they're basically going to steal your lifespan. They don't take you to jail. They literally sap your lifespan from your body. And it's 3 years per coin that you don't pay. And if you try to run away, then it's going to be an additional 10 years that they take off of your lifespan in addition to the coins that you didn't pay. So that would be 19 years. Pretty brutal. So they're about to take from this one guy who says that if he die, if he loses his lifespan like 9 years, he might die because he's super old, and he doesn't want to die, obviously. So Goku is about to step in, but then we see the character who I could only call Chatty. Chatty shows up and she is, like, hey, cut that out, let that guy go. And she throws this thing that she calls a wasabi bomb. And I kind of wanted to see how this thing works, but at the same time, I was like, damn, that sounds kind of brutal because wasabi is strong as hell. And this thing was about to explode in like a gas form. Like, imagine like a smoke bomb or like tear gas, but it's wasabi instead of like, just smoke or whatever. And I'm like, yo, like this is gonna irritate some people's eyeballs for sure. But no, it's a dud, and she ends up running away. She also has a taser, so it's pretty fun. She's gonna be a pretty fun, resourceful character. She's not gonna, have like key blast and all that stuff. It seems like she's gonna have gadgets and weaponry and stuff like that. So that's gonna be pretty cool. uh, Goku steps in, and basically everything that he does in this battle, when he's fighting, seems to be basically where they pulled his moveset for Sparking Zero and even Xenoverse 2. I thought it looked pretty fun. Goku in getting into these battles looks pretty fun because, in Dragon Ball Z we get these really hardcore fight scenes, but in Daima, it seems to kind of go back to how a lot of the fight scenes were in Dragon Ball, and they seem to have this like cartoony goofiness to them, not in a bad way, like not at all in a bad way. It's a little different. It's like the difference between watching like The Raid and the Raid 2 fight scenes and then watching like a Jackie Chan movie. Like you still get the martial arts prowess, and it's still really cool to watch, but at the same time it's a different kind of fighting style, if you will. So they defeat these guys and they flee. So now Goku's technically a fugitive, and they meet up with Chatty, who removes her mask, and we see that it is Pansy, which is the second thing I was 100% correct about. And I find all of this interesting. That's pretty much where the episode ends, by the way. So anyway, I like this episode. Like I said when reviewing episode 3, it seems like these episodes are just getting better and better as the episodes go, and I really love that. There's a lot of adventure going into it. There's a lot of foreshadowing. There's a lot of small little details here and there that you can see and just think, oh, this is where this is going to come from. This is how this is going to work. Um, so it's pretty fun. I like it. It's a really fun adventure. It reminds me of my younger days watching Dragon Ball with like my brother and my grandma. I really love like how it feels nostalgic, but it's not nostalgic because it's new, but it's different, but it's also the same. I really love it. Anyway, yeah, you can tell a lot of passion went into this, a lot of fun and love, and it's very whimsical. It's very cool. It's very beautiful. Even like looking at the different scenery and stuff like that, like the backgrounds and stuff, like seeing how the demon world functions. It's interesting. You get to learn a lot about the demon world, even just from World 3, like Demon World 3. We haven't been to 1 and 2, but just seeing what we've seen in 3, it's really interesting seeing how all this works. Again, like it seems like Demon World 3 is basically like the slums of the Demon World, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Or maybe it's not the slums, but it's just like the particular area they're in just kind of works like the slums. Because, if they have a king for that world, there has to be some sense of like higher class living. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe Demon World 1 is like where it's at. The Demon World 2 is like, and then 3 is like really shitty living. Kind of like Attack on Titan with the 3 walls. If you're inside the first wall, you're basically living like the best lavish life. Second wall is like like middle to high class, and then the farthest wall, people that lived out there were always in danger of like, the Titans and stuff, and they also lived in pretty much poverty all the time. But we'll see as the episodes progress when we get to those other worlds. Anyway, I think this was all fun. And the best part of seeing this for me is it showed us a lot more of what we will very likely be getting in the Daima DLC. Whether Xenoverse continues with Daima, if Kakarot continues with Daima, but Sparking Zero, we know for a fact we're getting Daima. So you could see a little bit more of what Glorio can do, which is pretty cool. We could see that he is a character that can fly. We could see him do a little bit more fighting. With Goku, we see pretty much where his moveset came from, and then we see Pansy and a little bit of stuff that comes with her kit. So the Wasabi Bomb basically being a dud, I feel like she's gonna, have a special that where she throws the Wasabi Bomb, or as part of her special. Maybe it'll be her charge attack or whatever, but it will functionally work. If it's a special, I would love to see it have like that 50-50 gimmick, like Hercules' dynamic kick, where it has like a 50-50% chance of doing a lot of damage and a 50-50% chance of failing. um, that would be a really interesting thing to see in Sparking Zero. Well, in any game that she's in, regardless, if she gets incorporated in more than just Sparking Zero. Um, she also had the taser, which I would love to see her use a lot more. Maybe in another special of hers, or her grab or something. it is going to be a little bit fun. But as the episodes progress, we're going to see a little bit more of her as well. I also do like seeing the world that they're in, so we have a lot to pull for stages in the future if we're going to do that. In addition to this, one thing that I do see is that Shin is still being a little more skeptical of Glorio when Goku mentions collecting the Dragon Balls and how he likes fighting strong opponents. Glorio seems to be on. He said, well, at first he's very against it because he's like, yeah, they're really strong. The Tamagomis are really strong. It's pretty much impossible. But once he sees that Goku's pretty much on board, he's like, hmm, this might be promising. And then he's like, yeah, we can use it to, get a wish for you. But the way they kind of frame Glorio in this, like the way we get to see him like do his looks and all that, it seems like he's planning something like it's kind of like, oh, I want you to collect the Dragon Balls, then I'm gonna use the wish for this type thing. And I don't know, like the way they frame it just makes it seem like he's being hella sketchy. And then they go ahead and show off like Glorio and Shin in the same frame when Goku runs off excited, and they have this little stare down. Like Shin is on to him, and he's just staring Shin down, like "What you gonna do about it?" kind of thing. Um, it's interesting. Like, I mean, I still want to know what's going on between the two of them. I mean, aside from, you know, not distrust, basically, aside from distrust. But that's pretty much the episode, and I think it's very fun. I kind of want to see what's going to go on in the next episode. I mean, Pansy's a fugitive, and I'm pretty sure her living's not the best, so I feel like she's going to join the gang. Goku, Gloria, Shannon, be on the mission with them. Maybe she'll have a mission that lines up with them, or maybe when they mention the Dragon Balls, that's going to help out because she has a wish that she wants to make, so she's going to join them to help out with her goals, which I think will be fun, especially learning what her goals are specifically because it seems like she wants to help out as far as defending her people or defending the people of the town in general from King Goma's heavy taxes, and probably more, to be honest. There's probably a lot more going on with her. Maybe she's a spy. Who knows? Like, I mean, I don't think so. She seems like a very innocent kind of character, while Glorio is the very mysterious one. But hey, anything can happen. Uh, but yeah, that's pretty much just gonna do it for me. That's my review of this episode. I can't wait for next week to see episode 5 and what that entails. And yeah, yeah. Let me know in the comments what you thought, what you think about the episode. Let me know what you think is basically to come, and let me know what you think Goku and Vegeta's fusion bug name is gonna be. Because we got Vegito, we got Gogeta. I've seen people in Lotus Asakura's chat say Vegerat, which I think that might be a cool name. Mixing Vegeta and Kakarot, but at the same time, Vegerat is what Vegito's name was supposed to be. I think they just went for Vegito because it's easier to say than Vegerat, but in the manga it is Vegerat. Um, I was thinking something like Kakato or something like that. I don't know, something that fuses Kakarot and Vegeta, not necessarily Goku and Vegeta, but we'll see. We'll see when we get there. I think it's going to be a fun time. Uh, but that's pretty much going to do it for me. Please like the video, subscribe to the page, hit the notification bell so you can see all future uploads. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.